What's up everyone? Tony Bonvecchio from the Strength House. Today I'm going to talk about the safety squat bar, why we use it, some of the benefits of it, as well as some strategies for using it in your training. So safety squat bars come in all kinds of different brands, but there are a couple things that are consistent. First of all, a big pad with handles that extend out front to let the bar sit higher on your upper back and hold it out front. So it basically takes away a lot of the shoulder mobility requirements of the back squat. We really like it for our overhead athletes, baseball players, softball, lacrosse, etc., as well as using it with our adults and our power lifters to give their shoulders a break and also work around injuries. So if you have a shoulder injury, a pec injury, an elbow injury, and you have a safety squat bar, you can keep training hard. So that, just for that reason, it's worth its weight in gold. So the other thing that's going to be consistent is that there's going to be a camber to the bar. So you don't see safety squat bars that go straight out to the side like a regular barbell. There's always some camber, so the weights sit a little bit lower. I like to tell people that the safety squat bar kind of sits somewhere between a back squat and a front squat. It's not going to be loaded quite out and far in front of you as a front squat, but also because the bar sits higher on your back, because of the pad, it's not quite like a back squat either, so it's kind of a nice in-between. Now, if you were to have something like a transformer bar from Kabuki Strength, you have the option to change where the plates sit, but most of us are gonna have a fixed camber where that bar is gonna sit somewhere between a front squat and a back squat. For that reason, it's probably still a little bit more quad dominant than say like a back squat where the bar is loaded closer to the hips. So use it for what you will. So the way that I like to have people set up for the safety squat bar, regardless of whether they're doing a squat, lunges, whatever, I like to have them try to carry the bar high on their traps, not try to like wedge it down low, and also to try to hold the handles in a way where they're not going to maneuver the handles around as they squat, but rather just support it with their hands. So what that looks like is just letting the bar sit high on the traps. I'll often go with a thumbless grip here, or sometimes even hold in the front like so, rather than having a full grip like this. I suppose if you had a full grip and you squeezed it really tight, it would help you stabilize your upper body, but the temptation is going to be there to try to move the handles around, and I want to take that temptation away. So I'll often go with a thumbless grip, or like I said, kind of cup the ends of the handles, so I'm just holding it there and not maneuvering the bar with my hands, but rather having to really stabilize just through a lot of active tension through my upper back. That's another thing with the safety squat bar is you can't pull down with your lats to stabilize your upper body like you can a back squat. So it's very, very difficult to maintain good upper back positioning, which is another good challenge of the safety squat bar. If that's something that you struggle with in your squat, this is a good way to build it up. All right, so I don't want to sit it too low because those handles are going to sit parallel. I like to hold it a little higher so those handles kind of have like a 45-degree angle down. I often equate this to kind of like a plate loaded goblet squat where you're holding the plate out in front of you a little bit. And in fact, that's a way that I teach the safety squat bar squat to prevent people who want to try to move the bar around with their hands. But besides the setup there and getting the bar on your back and holding the bar in front, everything else is the same as your normal squat. You still want to brace hard, you still want to screw your feet into the ground, but what you'll see is that the camber will have the load sit out in front of me a little bit more than a regular back squat. So for that reason, it is going to tax the quads a little bit more. What you want to avoid during a back squat, like I said again, is maneuvering the handles around. So one of the big challenges of the safety bar is that it will try to curl you over like so, and the handles will try to move backwards. You'll often see that somebody will take a heavy safety bar squat, be fine on the way down, and as they start to stand up, those handles will roll back, the upper back will curve, and you'll kind of have to good morning it out of the bottom. So you want to be really, really active with your upper back. Take a nice big breath to get good core tension, and then fight to not let those handles come back. But I tell people to just hold your ground out in front. Don't push the handles up, because you see what that actually does to the camber. It moves the weight backwards a little bit, so that's cheating, but also you definitely don't want to let those handles go down because that's going to curl your upper back. So your job with the safety squat bar is just to hold it out in front of you. That's why I like the plate-loaded goblet squat as an example. I'll have somebody just hold a plate out in front of them and do like a front-loaded squat like so, and I'll ask them, while you're doing these, you wouldn't move the plate around, would you? you wouldn't go like this to stand up. The answer is, of course, no, so don't do it with the safety bar either. All right, so safety squat bar, a great option to use if you have an upper body injury, if you're an overhead athlete where shoulder health is a primary concern, or if you're just somebody looking to get strong and add some variety, the safety squat bar is a great option.